Greetings YouTube. If you don't know, my name is Itchy Braids and I'm here with another video today. Today we're discussing this lovely stone around my neck. It is known as Moldavite. Now let's get into it. Now a brief history on the stone Moldavite for those of you that are unfamiliar. Moldavite dates back 15 million years ago. Many ancient civilizations used it and they prioritized it as a spiritual stone, as you're about to see. It's only found in one part of the world, which is the Czech Republic, in a place called Bohemian Plateau. And remember the name Bohemian because it's very relevant to the stone. Now I'm going to cover all the spiritual and metaphysical aspects of this stone at the end of the video. But first, I'm going to tell you what initially attracted me to this stone and how I found it. You see, I've known about Moldavite for some years now. I used to go to the flea market every weekend, and I remember about 4 or 5 years ago, I went to the flea market and I met a man. He had Moldavite earrings in, and we weren't even talking about Moldavite. I think I was about to buy a ring, which the ring was gold and lapis lazuli, off topic, but it was a very pretty ring. I still have it to this day. And he complimented the ring, and that turned into a natural flowing conversation. Next thing you know, we're talking about the Moldavite, and he was telling me how he was raised on a Native American reservation, how the earrings were passed down to him, and how he's basically worn the earrings for 20 years straight. And he told me that he had never had a bad day since he had been wearing those earrings. And this is let's see, 6 years ago. This is an 18-year-old me. So I'm thinking, yeah, okay, sir. Yeah, sure. Took it with a grain of salt. And now we're in 2024. And I must say, the man was right. If you are looking for rapid transformation in your life, go buy some Moldavite. Like, I kid you not, the first day I bought this stone, the first day I got a raise at my job. Not just a regular raise, it was a big raise. Like, this was like a 2 years worth raise. That was the first day I got this. Second day, I went to a coffee franchise. I'm not gonna say the name because I really don't support them. I went there, and guess what? I get to the window after I order my food. They tell me, oh, the people in front of you just paid for you, which seems relatively normal. I mean, that can happen from time to time. A couple days pass, I go to a different coffee franchise. I'll say this one, Elianos. If you're ever in the South, try some Elianos. I went there. She was like, oh no, it's okay, it's on me. I was like, okay, thank you. Then, for those that don't know, I am a firearm enthusiast. I like firearms, small ones, big ones, all types. Well, there was a particular handgun that I was getting rid of, and I didn't want to sell it to the store, so I put it on a trading site, and that is legal in the state of Florida. And literally, like a couple days later, this dude reached out to me with a offer that was literally too good to be true. He offered me, this is like a simple $200-300 handgun I was trading. He offered me a whole rifle that had fully equipped and everything. Equal trade. I didn't add any money or anything. Now, if I was looking at that deal from his point of view, I would have thought I was getting ripped off. But he was so happy to make this trade. To me, I felt like I had just won the lottery, because I'm thinking, why do you want to trade this? And he looked like a law-abiding citizen. It was a middle-aged man. He bought his wife and stuff. But that's already 4 things in the first week of having this. Mind you, I'm in the going on the 3rd week of having this, and we can talk about all the good things that have happened since then. I'm not fully accrediting the Moldavite, but literally to buy this the first day and get a 2 years worth raise and all of the just coincidences that followed, I think the Moldavite may somewhat be responsible. And now let's get into the communication factor, because this green stone right here is actually what the emerald tablets are made out of. You see, it's a misconception that the emerald tablets, wherever they are, were made of emerald. Well, that's not true. And how do we know that's not true? It's simple. The emerald tablets were said to have fell from the sky. There are no emeralds in space. This is the only green stone in space. A lot of the ancient people believed, and a lot of modern archaeologists, they believe that moldavite is the stone that the emerald tablets were really made out of. Because back then, back in the old days, they didn't have a way to differentiate between the green stones. So they seen a green stone like this, it was automatically emerald. Same way if you see any blue stone back then, oh, that's automatically a sapphire. Same with if they saw a quartz crystal back then, oh, that's a diamond. You see how it goes? But communication. So the planet of communication, and this is about to get esoteric, because this stone is said to boost communication and your interactions with people, the way you process, logistics, those types of things. It's tied to Virgo energy, also Gemini, because it's tied to the planet Mercury, and we know Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. Now I just said all that to say this stone boosts interactions with people. I don't know what it is, why it happens, but it does. I've had so many random encounters with people that they initiated recently since I started wearing this stone that is crazy. It doesn't make sense. More people have started to compliment me. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that because this isn't about me, but communication has definitely just expanded. I even feel like my communication with other people is better, and it's not necessarily how I'm wording my words. I just think people are understanding it better at a deeper level, more depth. Like if you want to expand your relationships with people, whether that be loved ones or a stranger, moldavite will help. Even with people I know, we've had deep conversations recently that we wouldn't even typically have, and it wasn't me going and looking for it, it wasn't them going and looking for it, it just happened. And that could be life, but I'm saying in 24 years of my life, and then just 3 weeks of wearing this, I'm just noticing all the little things. And you know, some things I take with a grain of salt, but others I can't take with a grain of salt because it's just out of the ordinary that has happened. Now I'm going to return to the moldavite connection to Mercury briefly, but I also want to cover the chakras because this stone is said to enhance dreams. In the first couple of nights that I wore this stone, my dreams were insane. When I say lucid, I mean as lucid can possibly get. And maybe the solar storms contributed to that because we did have some severe solar storms here in Florida, but this was for a couple of days, and I still do have these vivid dreams. Just a lot of the time I go to sleep at a point to where I'm not even conscious enough to remember my dreams unless I consciously try to remember them. Most nights I don't, but when I am, this stone will enhance your dreams. Now the chakras that it's tied to is all of them, all your core 7 as well as the 144 in your body, but there's 2 primarily that it connects to the most efficiently. One being the heart. Moldavite, and I'm going to touch up on moldavite in a second. The heart is one, and the third eye chakra is another one. Like I said, it's mercurial Mercury energy, which involves not only understanding and communication, but intuition as well, because you got to think Virgo and Pisces they're sister signs. So a lot of the same traits that Virgo would have, Pisces would have too. And since this is associated with Virgo, that intuition that a lot of Pisces have is also in this stone. Now, visiting back to the heart, there is something that, and it's a phenomenon, I can't explain it. I felt it, mine was a little different, but there's something called moldavite flush. When you touch this stone, typically people get a blushing rosy cheek sensation, they get an instant burst of happiness, or their heart will start beating really fast, like just spontaneous as soon as you touch it. For me, I did not get those, but when I touched it, I immediately got chills. Like chills went all up and down my spine. I had them on my arms, and I think that was my version of moldavite flush, because everybody, the stone's reacting with everybody's body differently. We have different skin chemistries, and we can break all that down in a different video. We even have different auras at the end of the day. So I think Moldavite flush probably affects everyone differently. Now, I didn't intend to make this video too long, so I'm going to go over a few more things and cut it short. I may do a part 2 with all of the gods and deities associated with Mercury that also tie in and relate to the traits that Moldavite unlocks. But with that being said, just like there is good with this stone, there is bad. And one of those things, with it being tied to Mercury and Virgo, there is the trickster. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Marvel movie Loki. Loki is essentially Virgo. That's why he's green. Mercury, just like Moldavite. Think Loki. There is a trickster aspect to this stone. I've heard that the stone makes people do things that they normally wouldn't do, say things they normally wouldn't do, act ways they normally wouldn't act. While that has not really happened to me, I have noticed that I've been a lot more direct and not necessarily confrontational, but very direct, and not even rude direct. Of course, some people can perceive it as rude, but not intentionally rude. And I've been told that the Moldavite is making me mean. That's what my girl said. I don't know if that's true. She could just be in her feelings, but she did say that one time. She was like, that Moldavite is making you mean. I was like, you think so? I'm sorry. Lastly, Napoleon's crew. You know Napoleon, the little short man who allegedly blew the nose off the Sphinx. His team, they actually found a grail, which is a cup made of Moldavite, and they thought it was the Holy Grail, and he was depressed. It was reported because he was sad it was not gold, and he thought the Holy Grail would be gold. So that's just another part of history that shows this must have been somewhat pretty valuable. You have the ancient people using it also as a spiritual stone. I'm just saying. Now look out for a part 2 on this video, because I am going to go into, you know, the deep esoteric metaphysical side. I'm going to talk about the gods and the planets and astrology and all that stuff. So if you like that stuff, follow my channel, like, share, subscribe. There will be a part 2 to this video. If you want a free parking spot every time you go somewhere, buy some Moldavite. If you want better communication with people, buy some Moldavite. If you want intense lucid dreams, buy some Moldavite. If you want to feel better, buy some Moldavite. If you want to feel crazy sometimes, buy some Moldavite. Moldavite is only found in one place in the world, the Czech Republic, and it is not cheap. It's not super expensive if you find a good vendor. Just make sure your Moldavite is authentic. I paid somewhere around $170. I got this on sale. The original price was $230, but they were having a sale. Yeah, with that being said, I'm out. Look forward to part 2 coming soon. Peace.